What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find Hardy Construction on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and wherever else you look up the Hardy Construction name with yours komp and
QWERTY.
Today's film is
The Host, 2006, not 2013. This is a Korean movie.
The Host, 2016. Gwomul. A monster emerges from Seoul's Han River and begins attacking people. One victim's loving family does what it can to rescue her from its clutches. Directed by Joon-ho, written by Joon-ho, as well as Won-jun. Starring Kang-ho Song, Hee-Bong, Hae-il Park, and a whole bunch of other people.
A whole bunch of others.
So, Danny, why did you pick The Host?
I've seen the cover of this like a million times, and it always I always assumed
I
it was
think
probably
that's
stupid.
mathematically impossible, but go ahead.
No, 1 million times.
Oh, okay.
And I assumed, well, if we start counting nanoseconds, like one viewing, but how many millions of...
I pictured you like, who's that guy? That movie with Tom Cruise and the other guy, Dustin Hoffman,
The Graduate?
No.
No.
Yeah, Tom Cruise was in The Graduate. No, the other guy, the Rain Man. Like you're
Okay.
You saw the poster 900.
I go to Blockbuster every day.
Yeah, no, you saw the poster 999,000, how many it is before a million. Then you're like over and over with a tick. He goes 999, and then you just like see it the millionth time when you just pull your pants down. It's funny because the cover very much looks like
I saw
Japanese
the cover.
pornography. But go ahead.
I saw the cover. It intrigued me. It always kind of intrigued me. I kind of assumed it might be dumb, but I wanted to see it, and it wasn't dumb. I'm happy I saw it.
It was smart.
It was smart.
Apparently, it's a lot smarter than I thought.
Yeah,
after I saw
that's
that video. There's a companion video. I just randomly saw it today to acclimate myself on what I had seen. I saw it a lot. I saw it essentially a year after it came out, around 2007, I think, or 2008. And then I saw it recently with the horrible American dub. And then I just saw the this little video by this guy named Renegade Cut. We'll probably talk a little bit about it. This guy named Renegade Cut, and it's called "Is America the Real Monster?" in The Host.
But no, it's not even "is." America is the real monster. It just says it.
So,
it's like a statement.
The reason why I wanted to see this film originally, even though you picked it, Joon-ho is this really very talented director. I must have brought up the name of this movie a couple of times. It's called Memories of Murder. It's my favorite sort of police dark drama that I've ever seen. It's the best cop movie I've ever seen in my life, and it's just so good. And even if you're not into
Snowpiercer too.
Yeah, he also did Snowpiercer. And he also did on Netflix. He did the recently Okja. That was the film that they got into a lot of shit with these film festivals because a lot of film companies and they pour all this money into making films and they get pissed off at Netflix for just sort of making movies and then releasing them and then wanting awards. They don't think Netflix is a viable...
Everything Netflix touches is gold. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yes. Okay. And
well, it's true, though.
No, there's a lot of good stuff on Netflix, but then there's a lot of shit that you're like, what the hell is this? Anyway.
Yeah, sure, but all the actual Netflix originals,
yeah, they're pretty good.
Anything bad?
So anyway, he had directed Okja, and that's actually a really good movie. You should check that out. It's good, and it has Jake Gyllenhaal, and it was always
good. I refuse!
Oops. Anyway, so after I'd seen Memories of Murder, I was like, wow, and The Host was about 3 years after that. He also did a couple of movies. He did, obviously, Snowpiercer. He did this movie called Mother, which I hear is very good. He's just done a lot. He's just a very quality director. I would put him up there.
Imagine the movie Mother is just the music video for that song. It's like, Mother, tell your children not to walk
What's his name? What's that guy's name?
Danzig.
Still, the greatest YouTube video with him is they play the song Mother, and then they take photos of... somebody just took random photos of him leaving from a store, and he has a big bag of kitty litter.
Yeah.
You just keep rotating the photo to the song Mother. It's just very stupid. A very stupid video. Anyway, so back to this film. Tell us, what is The Host about?
It is about... Well, do you want me to say what the symbolism of what that guy was talking about?
No, we'll get into it. Just explain what the movie is first.
Okay. This American Army base pours a bunch of chemicals
formaldehyde.
down... formaldehyde down the drain, and then a couple years later, there's a big giant monster that kidnaps this man's daughter.
Is
And then
formaldehyde that toxic that it?
I mean, it's not good for you, but I don't think it
I mean,
would
that's what they
mutate.
use on dead bodies, right?
Yeah, and it's in I think it's in cigarettes and shit. It's not good for you.
Okay,
For
let me see.
certain.
Formaldehyde is a naturally occurring organic compound within the formula CH2O. It is the simplest of the aldehydes. Oh, jeez. That doesn't even explain anything.
Are we gonna go into chemistry?
No, let me just say, formaldehyde is a colorless, strong-smelling gas used in making building materials and many household products. It is used in pressed wood products such as particle board, plywood, and fiberboard, glues and adhesives, permanent pressed fabrics, paper product coatings, and certain insulation materials. So yeah, that sounds pretty toxic.
It sounds nice and sexy. Well, in any case, I don't think it would create a giant monster.
Says you.
But it's not. It could. Who knows? But it's not healthy.
No.
And apparently in that video, the guy was saying that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Apparently that really happened.
Yeah. So apparently I didn't know that there was a lot of. I don't care about the world. So reading the video, watching the video that the guy Renegade Cut made. It's actually a very fascinating video. It's like about eight plus minutes long, and it's about America's involvement with Korea. I don't pay attention to history.
I know some of it, but I didn't know all of it.
I keep
obviously.
myself very, well informed about the world and all its antics.
Ignorance is bliss.
And North Korea and South Korea was split by the U.S. and Russia after World War II because Japan was holding on to Korea. And with the defeat of Japan, according to Renegade Cut, meant the defeat of Korea. So Korea has always been sort of overlooked by not overlooked, but looked over by the Americans. And so
we force our way onto a lot of countries.
Yeah, so this film apparently touches bases with a lot of that material, sort of like Americans telling Korea what to do because they don't have as much power as America does.
Such as pouring chemicals down a drain, which creates a giant monster.
And then also, just Asian culture differing from Western culture, and it's just superpowers compared to world powers and stuff like that. And also somebody else on the comments of the video for the Renegade Cut video also noticed, they're like, oh, did you notice that the first guy to run in to fight the monster was an American cowboy and he gets himself killed? So it's sort of murky on what I don't think it's necessarily an anti-American film, but it's certainly showing, nobody's blameless in this. I mean, it's always interesting to see foreign films where the Americans are the bad guys, because it's just so funny. I was watching some what was it? Shaolin Soccer, which is,
I still haven't
you
seen
saw
that.
Kung Fu Hustle. Yeah, it's Shaolin Soccer is great, and there's a scene where they're doing these drugs that this evil rival soccer team is using drugs, and they're like, "Are the drugs from America?" Then you're like the haunting music and shit. And I just seen, and there was also this Puerto Rican comedy movie about basketball, and the bad guys were an American team, and it was the worst like Latino actors pretending to be white people, because Latinos come in different shades, so they look like white guys, but they're like, oh man, I'm from America. What'd you say? I was like, oh man, what the fuck? Like, yikes! You couldn't hire even the worst white actors. You can do that anyway.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. So yes, once again, just check
Herschel's the third
Scott Walker,
guy.
the recently deceased Scott Walker, was a very good actor. He was a very comforting old man. Once you see him, he was perfectly cast as Herschel in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, he really was perfect for that role.
He just seemed like a nice old man, and he's playing an old bastard.
Nice old man who locks zombies in a barn because he's convinced they're still alive.
That's what I hope Herschel did. Once he created that monster in Korea, he decided to change his ways and to take care of his family on the farm, and then he got decapitated for it.
Yeah, poor Herschel.
So it was funny because when I had seen this film a long time ago, I was like, the very first scene was about 15, 20 minutes in when the actual monster, because I remember I was like,
the way it comes out is brilliant to me.
Yeah, I thought when I had seen this, I was like, oh, they're gonna take forever for this fucking monster to come out, because usually a lot of horror movies are like that when the giant monster movie sort of thing is. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing Godzilla, and it took forever for Godzilla to come out, the American one with
it's the budget Broderick. That was a terrible movie. The budget is all in the monster,
And
basically.
the
So
monster
they
comes
save
out.
upon it.
The monster comes out 15 minutes into the film, and I
Yep.
remember being blown away by the special effects back then. Now I watched it again. I was like, ooh, it's a little okay, but
It's not that bad. I
no, it's
mean, I
not
think
that
there's
bad.
like actual puppets being used and shit too.
But the monster itself has that sort of clinical look, that sort of, I hate that sort of J.J. Abrams sort of, but it's realistic, I guess, sort of monster. Like I don't know what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a mutation of.
I just like the when it first comes out of the water and it's just I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah,
The way it's just like running at everyone, like I didn't expect that. I
yeah, it was
assumed
really. It's a fun monster movie because the monster's not tremendous, like a gigantic. It's about the size of like.
it's big enough that you would be scared shitless
Yeah,
if
it's
it
about the
came
size of
running
like
at
an
you.
elephant or something like that, right?
Yeah, like I'd say like the size of a car.
Okay, well, I mean,
But
an
like,
elephant's bigger than a car, don't you think?
you know what? I don't want to hear about elephants anymore.
So anyway, this
We're,
creature's
we're
running around.
talking about cars
The only thing
now.
that bugged me out when I saw that was the people were running with the monster, like they weren't running away with it. Like it was going a direct path, and I guess they were running, and then we would pass by them, and they were still running the same direction it was running. Like the main guy, Blondie,
Yeah, I saw that.
he's running with it, looking at it. I'm like, wouldn't you just go the other way and go up this? You know what I mean? Like, but whatever. That's just how it's still a very cool scene to watch, and it's just really well done. And throughout the film, what happens is the Blondie, because there's 5 main characters. There's the blonde guy who's the main he's sort of a dim-witted father. He has a little daughter who's rambunctious. His sister is professional
Archer.
archer. His brother's a drunk. His father, the father
The father was my favorite character.
the father and the Blondie own this like a snack stand, right?
Yeah.
And what happens is the monster, for some reason, kidnaps the girl. Well, not kidnaps her, he just happens to take. I don't explain why the monster. It doesn't really shine light on what it
I
is.
think it just likes having foods for whenever
Storage
it
for
gets
later,
hungry.
right? Like a chipmunk or something
Yeah.
like that. So then the rest of the film is the family, grieving, and then also finding out that the daughter might be alive because he gets a phone call from her, and she's trying to hide. So it's her trying to survive. It's the family suddenly being, I guess, put it with Men in Black style, being put in locked away. Trying to keep them quiet from this disaster that's happening, and this overreaching American stronghold on the country to kind of shut everybody up by saying that they're faking that there's this sort of
I mean, even before watching the guy's take on it with what he's giving like an actual history of
Right.
why it factually is. I mean, I definitely got the vibe that they're being critical of America. 'Cause
Oh, sure.
every
Yeah, no, I got
stupid
that too,
thing
yeah.
that happens is America's fault in this movie. Like
right.
the fake virus, that would totally happen. Like that would
Oh, yeah.
totally happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I've seen that in like a lot of movies, so that totally makes sense.
The
that
book
was in
The
film.
Stand gets into that kind of shit, like just the kind of stupid shit that the army would do in an actual situation like this.
So
And,
what
yeah.
what are your thoughts on the character dynamics in this film?
Oh, I love the grandpa. He's like my favorite for whatever reason.
Why?
He's just so like lovable and funny. Like when he's telling that speech about the blondie guy and like the other two are falling asleep and the grandpa just keeps going and talking. I just thought it was like so cute. Like he's like very cute, lovable old man.
Yeah, because you thought it's labeled as a comedy. This movie.
It is a comedy. Well, it's a really depressing comedy. Like I guess with all the history, I guess Korea is just like depressed or something because like every movie is so fucking
Yeah, because
sad.
even this film leads to a very like we're gonna spoil it later on in the film. So
I mean, they've
it's
seen it
just
if
going-
they're listening to this, but
Yeah, it is. Korea does not let up on its fucking depressing sort of endings.
they do not believe in happy endings.
No,
at
and it's a
all.
positive ending, but it's still negative in the same way.
Like they could have. I like when the grandpa died. It was like, oh, okay, that sucks. Like, but yo, they could have totally have let the girl live.
Yeah, I know. I think that's what they. I don't know because you'd expect that to happen, but it just doesn't. And I guess the shining, the what is it? The light in the storm is the kid who also got kidnapped, and I guess he was some sort of homeless kid, and
Yeah.
he gets adopted by Blondie at the end, who kind of cleans.
I mean,
his
she
shit up.
basically died to protect him.
Yeah. So I mean,
So I don't know.
they all have their crutches. Like the main character's dimwit and sort of a chicken shit. The brothers are drunk. The sister obviously is unsure of herself as an athlete, and the
Yeah.
father is sort of he doesn't know why his family got fucked. This is me just cribbing from that Renegade Cut video, and we see them use their strengths and all grow in this particular sort of chaotic event, which I like, and it is very much a character study that's lensed like an action film because it runs like almost 2 hours long. It's like right at the minute point of
Yeah.
2 hours long.
It is pretty long, actually.
And but it's interesting, and it has a lot of. It's a really beautifully shot
It's so
film too.
frustrating at points, like that they just will not listen. And then you think that they're finally listening to the guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just say it's because he's gone insane, and they take a sample of his brain.
I know
It's like I wanted to like jump in there and like punch the guy in the face.
you notice the main guy was also the priest in Thirst, right?
Wait, what, sorry, say it again.
The blonde guy was the priest in Thirst. The guy who.
Oh, okay.
He's a little fatter here, but in Priest, he's the same guy. He's the same guy in Thirst.
Okay, he did seem a little familiar to me.
He's he's a very prolific Korean actor. He's been in I'm very sure I've seen him in plenty of I think he was also in let me see if he was in Snowpiercer. He's in a
Snowpiercer was American. I mean, well, it's a Korean movie, but I mean, it's
the director was this guy, so I'm sure there's plenty of
yeah,
Korean
but it's
actors.
not an Asian cast.
Oh man, he was also in Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, which is a great movie, but like I can't watch that movie again. It's just so fucking depressing. He was in Snowpiercer.
So what the hell? Why are all these movies so different?
I
do
don't
they
know,
have
man.
happy? Do they have happy movies in Korea?
Like the happiest film that I saw was this movie called My Sassy Girl, a movie I would highly recommend. It's like a romantic comedy, but it's more like this guy who ends up dating this sort of, or not dating, but he's enthralled with this sort of rough and tumble sort of woman. It's actually a very good movie. I suggest it to anybody that's like either dating or they just want to see a good film. It's called My Sassy Girl. And even that, which has a happy ending, is like sad at the same time. Not sad, but like it makes you like tear up. It's just they know how to pull their heartstrings over there.
Yeah, I mean, every Korean movie I've seen, which isn't many, I think it's like maybe 6 or 7, but they're all like really, really good.
And I saw
just
this.
all depressing.
I forgot what this Korean war movie that I saw. It was about like I guess I don't know which war it was in Korea, but there's like they just killed this character that was supposed to represent like kindness and stuff, and I was like, good Lord Almighty! Like in the middle of the movie, I'm like, oh my God, this is depressing. So I mean, they're all good. They're all very good films. But man, oh man, do they love being sad over there in Korea? Because this is some fucked up shit. Even like
I kind of want to. I kind of want to go there.
Like
and
you compare Korean films to like Takashi Miike's film. Like even if they're depressing,
his are more uplifting. Yeah.
yeah. Even there was only one sort of Takashi Miike film which I was at the end of it, I was like, God damn, that ending was like horrible. But like,
Which one? Which one?
it was a movie called City of Lost Souls. It's like a madcap sort of adventure film, but the ending is like very unexpected. It's just like, what the fuck, sort of.
Okay,
sad
I
ending.
thought for a second I was thinking you were talking about the French movie, which is
No.
also a great movie.
I'm sure.
everyone.
No, I'm sure.
That's City of Lost Children.
I'm sure Mickey's name a movie was no, it was based on I think it was Island of Lost Souls that it took the title from.
Okay.
But anyway, so this film is just very competently made. It's just it's fine with juggling the kind of genre it is because it is like action and comedy and also horror.
It's definitely comedy. Overall it's a comedy.
But it's not funny like when the monster's around. Like it's actually legitimately like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's much better direction than I see sort of monster movies in American films. Like they don't, and that's not like to take off on like giant. Like what would you consider a great giant monster movie in America?
Does Tremors count?
Yeah, the monster does sort of like one of the Tremors monsters, so I guess so. But yeah, because that's also a comedy horror film itself.
Yeah.
And this leans more. I wouldn't say it's like ha comedy, like giant comedy, but it is very funny and clever. And what
I
it
never
does.
saw Cloverfield actually.
That was good, but that's only good if you see it in theaters. It's not a movie where you watch it and go, "Oh, this is a great movie." It's an okay sort of giant monster film. It's not the best.
Okay.
That's a film that's more about spectacle than it is actually watching a good film. And
Right.
it's one of those films where they kill the interesting character like a half an hour into it, and then
But then I
you're
know
rooting
there's
for
like
people who don't give
two
a shit.
others that like connect somehow, or I
Very
don't know.
very loosely. I saw all the Cloverfield movies so far, and
I'm
they're
gonna watch
okay.
them
They
all.
get progressively worse, but
Oh,
whatever.
really?
No, the second one was actually pretty good.
That was the
Cloverfield,
John Goodman one, right?
right? That was a decent film, and I know people that watched it when it does connect to the other films. They got so angry at it. I'm like, what did you expect? What did you not expect that ending in the movie? Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's
Well,
like,
don't
right.
say anything.
Either way,
Yeah.
so this film, what are aspects that you think didn't work for this movie?
Um, I don't know. I wouldn't have changed anything. I think it was great. Like, yeah, the special effects could have been a little better.
Well, yeah, for
Probably.
2006, I guess they did the best that they could. Like, there's nothing really you can do. That's what I always wonder with films like this. When they ever do, like, a Blu-ray release, like, how much money do you think it is for them to sort of just go back and add some new CGI to it? Like, I wonder, like...
I mean, George Lucas did that to Star Wars.
well, that's a whole different thing, though. Lucas, he's insane. Like, he
Yeah.
changed story elements, I guess, or did weird shit
Well,
with it.
no, but there. Okay, but initially,
Well, not
before
really, I
he
guess.
changed story elements, he did. He did a version where like Cloud City looks bigger at the
okay.
end, or like he, or like
I
he
know
made.
I was watching that.
At one point, Han Solo runs, and there's like initially it was like 4 stormtroopers, and then he's like whoops, and he turns around and runs away. But he made it like a legion of stormtroopers, so it was more dramatic. Or
I
something.
remember I decided before episode 7 had come out, I was
Yeah.
like, let me watch the original trilogy. Because I had never watched the original trilogy. I only saw like mostly parts of it, of Star Wars,
Yeah.
New Hope, and then Empire Strikes Back. And I remember why, I was like, I didn't know which version I was watching. I just thought it was the original version. And then once you see the sequence where his, when he fixed it up, I guess, quote unquote, it fucking hits you like a fucking train because you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, I think it was like a monster, and then there was 2 stormtroopers with like binoculars, and it was like, it was so jarring at how fucking stupid it looked. I was like, yikes, like, this is bad.
It would be like, it's like, I don't know, like if you had like a nice, elegant tray of jewels, and then there was like a big ring pop in the middle of it, or something.
I think I made it up to Return of the Jedi like 45 minutes in. I was enjoying it, but I haven't finished it still
And then they
yet.
did that stupid new song instead of the old song.
That was bad.
Oh, my
That
God.
was very, very awful.
I don't, like, and you know what sucks is like, I mean, we're going on a Star Wars rant, but you can't, like, it's very hard to find the original versions now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's almost...
without all these edits. I didn't mind the first edits where he made Cloud City a little bigger or something, but like, don't fucking change songs that have been there forever.
Well, the Skywalker saga end, like, apparently the last one, the 9th film, will be the end of any Skywalkers in any more Star Wars films. Like, they'll just start new with whatever else. But anyway, the reason why I brought up the CG is, like, updating. I always thought, why didn't they do, like, you know how especially, let's say Pixar, you know how everything looks good when they get, obviously, over the years, their technology advances. Like, I don't understand, why wouldn't they take the basic elements of, say, like, The Incredibles 1, because The Incredibles 2 just came out. Why wouldn't they, like, release every 10 years when the effects get better? Why wouldn't they just, I'm like making a reason for Disney to make more money, why don't they just take the elements of what The Incredibles 1 is and then just layer over it? Yeah, because they have what the assets are. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess at that point you're remaking a whole movie. It's probably not so easy. It's probably not
so easy, right? So I figured they could do something like this, but the film itself has its own charms that it doesn't, rely on the special effects, and the special effects are used well for what they're doing.
I mean, to me, this movie's all about the characters. I love them.
Yeah. It is. It is a character film over a monster movie, but the monster elements are very important to the structure of the storytelling itself. And of course, the very would you say it's controversial? I haven't heard anybody say it's controversial, but I say it's controversial with the young girl dying at the end.
I mean, that was controversial. It's just depressing as fuck.
Yeah. Why do you think they went with that? To make it realistic?
I guess. Well, if we're going with that video of
guy?
the America is a monster, then I guess it's to show that that's the consequence of being weak and allowing us, like a bully like America, to boss you around.
Yeah.
Is that you lose innocent people.
Yeah, I think that watching that video had to really open my eyes about the film itself, and I like.
Yeah, like I kind of guessed a lot of that shit, but it's
Well,
nice
yeah,
like,
obviously
he
the
put it in
American
context.
influence and stuff like that. That's obvious, but I didn't
He
realize
like
how
put the
deep
full
it was.
context there, which is awesome. And I mean, I guess it's not like a fact, but it seems
Right.
kind of like
Yeah,
obvious.
it aligns pretty well with what the movie was sort of what was happening. Like I just saw it, I watched it as a sort of scary monster movie. That's how I saw it initially.
Yeah, that's how I
you know
saw
what
it
I mean?
too.
But obviously, you do pick up on those elements because I like back when I actually saw it, I wasn't aware of America's relationship with Korea. I certainly know now the relationship
Well,
with
I know,
both Koreas.
I know with all this North Korea shit, like, I found out that apparently we've been doing like daily drills, like military drills with them, like
Right.
specifically to show force to North Korea, like,
Yeah.
and like all these kinds
I
of
remember
things.
reading in the
They didn't-
newspapers like of like North Korea just throwing random bombs into South Korea and actually killed some people. I mean, South Korea doesn't do anything, and I'm like, why isn't America doing it? But America's not doing anything because then we got to deal with Russia and China. Oh my God, it's a nightmare. It really is crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It doesn't seem like it's going to be fun or being resolved anytime soon. Um,
I want to go. I want to go
in
to
20
Korea.
in 2050 when you see a nuclear wasteland. This podcast is still there, and
Nuclear wasteland that's underwater because of climate change.
and these like
We're fucked no matter what.
three-headed mutants are playing our audio from this movie review. They're like Laxnor, Nibelnork. Anyway, I don't know why people would change the language in 50 years, but whatever.
Maybe the nuclear waste made them change their language facilities and their brains.
So all in all, I'd say it's a solid little horror film that I think works on many levels. I'd give this movie an 8 out of 10. Grabbing the wrong young little girl to save and losing your own in the process.
Okay, I agree with you. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Finally learning to let go while holding a flaming arrow and sending it into the eye of a monster.
And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Meow, yeah.